Hello, I'm Phil Svitek, and this is my review of Disney's latest film called Encanto. And first off, I just want to say, don't sleep on this movie. It is absolutely a magical experience, and I mean that both metaphorically and quite literally, because the story itself uses magic realism to convey its story, right? And not only that, but it uses mystery, and it's also a musical, so the 3 M's, if you will. And Encanto, as a quick summary, it is set in Colombia, and it begins with this woman who is running away. They're fleeing from their home. It's her and her husband and her 3 kids, and the husband kind of sacrifices himself, and because of this sacrifice, a miracle happens. Right? It sounds absurd when you kind of say it out loud, but in the story it makes sense. And this miracle allows the family various kinds of gifts in terms of protection for their house, and the children that are born, they gain, if you will, special abilities and so forth, right? And they call it this miracle. And after a few generations, this miracle is threatened. Right, threatened to go away, and they could lose potentially everything. And that's kind of the long and short of it. And as I said, it's just got so much heart. I absolutely love it. I was recently in Colombia. Now, I wasn't in like the Amazon part or something like that. I was more in Bogota, which is the capital city, and things like that. But Colombia is just known for its magic realism. It's beautiful music. It kind of combines various styles and so forth, and all that's kind of in there. I would say a lot of the foundation of this movie is from Gabriel Garcia Marquez's 100 Years of Solitude, and that's not meant as a pejorative, but it's a very central story towards like what came out in terms of art from Colombia, and it is like a pinnacle work, if you will, and regarded very highly. But in that sense, that story is a lot messier. And I don't mean in terms of the actual writing, it's a novel. I mean more in terms of the characters. This is kind of a Disney-fied version of that, in the best way, no different than the Brothers Grimm stories got adapted to be a lot more uplifting. And I think that's beautiful. In terms of where the story goes and things like that, you can... if you have any sort of sensibility, you can kind of figure out where things are headed, relatively early within the storytelling. But it's not really about that. It's more about how you get there and ultimately how things are resolved. And that's a very beautiful thing, in my opinion. Because I think too many of us get hung up on this idea, trying to figure it out. And just because we figure it out, it's like, oh, well, that makes the story less. No. It's in the way the story is told. That's, as I said, magical keeps being my adjective because it's quite literal and figurative. And I just think everyone does such a wonderful job. And what I loved about it too is that the voice actors, they kind of go outside the box, in the sense that, it's not like a Selma Hayek voicing someone. For me, the most known person was Wilmer Valderrama, and everyone else kind of, I think in some sense it goes back to the idea of, who's the best voice talent for this role, and rather than just attach a big name actor, to this role just to draw attention, let's let the story be the story, and it'll be beautiful in that way. And in that way, it does work. It really is special in that way. And everything, I've been talking about this magical realism aspect to it. Everything that's set up in the world building makes sense. It doesn't have to necessarily be too overt. Like it's a very simplified version, right? Because at the end of the day, this has to work for kids and they have to understand it. And so, simplicity is one of its greatest tools. And through that, it manages to go really deep, on a human emotional level and explore a lot of interesting territory. And for those reasons, I absolutely love it. Like, I think it works on so many different levels. I think, the music is fantastic. And it has various, genres, if you will. And, there's a lot of catchy tunes that people have, that are more musically inclined will absolutely enjoy. Again, I think kids will enjoy this, but I don't think it's not like a Minions where kids will enjoy it and then the adults are just being dragged into it. This is something that I think adults can enjoy. I certainly enjoyed it. So those are my thoughts on Encanto. As I said, really wonderful movie. And happy to talk spoilers with you in the comments section. Just kind of denote it as such. We can talk about it because I think there's so many wonderful things to discuss. But yeah, let me know what you think, and let's explore further if you would like that. I certainly would. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. I appreciate you, and hope to see you next time.